We are a custom home builder here in Austin. We only build in Austin. We don't build out in Lakeway or Dripping or anything like that. We build custom homes between 600,000 and 5 million. So that's about $250 a foot and on up to about $1,000 a foot. We've been in Austin for 22 years, and I myself am the project manager and superintendent. So if we get a home, the client works with me the whole time and only with me.
Hey Brett, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? It's nice to see you.
It's good to see you. I think the last time I saw you, we were both teaching at the University of Texas, an undergraduate studio.
5 years ago?
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. So Charles, will you introduce yourself and kind of talk about what your wheelhouse in architecture is?
Sure. I'm not one of those architects who knew they wanted to be an architect, when they were 5 because they were playing with Lego. For me, it was just the realization of my combined interest in liberal arts, philosophy, history, and the engineering background of my parents and where I came from.
Well, and it's interesting you talk about not being the kid, the 5-year-old playing with the Legos, that really knowing what you wanted to do. But I was that kid. I was the 5-year-old saying, I'm going to be an architect. Yeah. And so it's really interesting now to find myself not a practicing architect, but building. But it's because of sort of the vibrancy of Austin and the real collaborations between the architects and fabricators and everyone that's allowed me to be able to become that type of architect, the builder.
So you have an unusual background being trained as an architect and now being a builder. How do you see that setting you apart from other builders?
Absolutely. So our entire firm, everybody in the firm, we're small. There's only about 4 of us in the group, but we're all either registered architects. Everybody on the project management side is a registered architect, and even our office manager has a bachelor in architecture from UT as well. So we all really understand how to tailor the building experience to intent, to translate clearly the architect's intent. What kind of work are you working on now?
I've become very interested in kind of remodels where you have to come up with a synthesis of what was there and what you are proposing that is new. So I'm really interested in the intersection of how do we build up our history? How do we dialogue with what's happening in our neighborhood and in old houses?
I mean, absolutely. We talk so much about placefulness in architecture and the fact that, especially in this neighborhood, so much has been wiped, but I think it's really critical that we preserve our urban fabric.
One of the hardest questions I get asked is how much is it going to cost? Because I don't know. I mean, I can base it on what I've done previously, but the fluctuation of the market, of the labor force, of the materials is very difficult to predict. So that's why I like to bring in a builder so that they can be more, forceful or more informed.
Absolutely.
How can an architect be more helpful in
Absolutely.
that construction sequencing?
Well, I think that I love working with architects who are, and I hope that I was this type of architect too, where I never stop being curious and never stop pushing the details, pushing the design. So if there's this hint of an idea, but the architect's not quite sure exactly how they want that to work out, I think that having that collaboration with the builder, with the actual people who are going to be doing the work, the actual people who are going to be supplying the materials to do the work, it makes for some really exciting outcomes.